What happens when we get tired? Our eyelids close and our chin moves down. We tend to nod out this way.
성공을 위한 채널. 현대인들은 많은 일을 하기 때문에 늘 피곤하죠. 그래서 중요한 일을 하거나 회의를 할 때 고개를 떨구고 졸고 있는 경우가 많습니다. 앤드류 후버만 교수가 이럴 때를 대비해서 짧은 시간에 졸음을 깨는 방법에 대해 알려줍니다. 지금부터 그 방법에 대해 알아봅시다.
Many people are experiencing severe vision problems because they're not getting enough sunlight during the day. They have sleep problems because they're not viewing sunlight early in the day. And as I've mentioned in previous episodes, they're getting a lot of artificial light stimulation of the eye in the middle of the night. All of this is through the visual system. So I'm not telling people to get away from their phone and their computers. I spend a lot of time staring at a page, drawing, writing, texting, etc., just like you do. But we're really talking about some very simple protocols that aren't just designed to improve your sleep, but are really designed to bolster and enhance your vision. For de-stressing your system, and all of these are essentially zero cost, okay? If you live in a very dark environment, like a cave or outer space, it's going to be hard to do some of this stuff. But if you're on planet Earth, even if there's cloud cover, chances are you can do some or most or even all of these some, most, or all days. What I'm about to describe next is going to seem so silly on the face of it, but has deep mechanism to support it. Put simply, when you get tired, your eyelids close. And when you're alert, your eyelids are open. That is because you have neurons in your brain that, depending on your level of alertness, will make it easy or hard to keep your eyes open. Now, that's a complete duh, except that we don't often think about the relationship between alertness and where we are looking and our eyelids. Now, I learned this from a colleague of mine in psychiatry who happens to work on hypnosis. What happens when we get tired? Our eyelids close and our chin moves down. We tend to nod out this way. If you have ever been in a classroom, certainly not one of mine, but if you've been in a classroom and the lecture is kind of drawing on, or it's the afternoon, what you'll notice is that a number of students, their heads are their eyelids are closing and their chin is dropping, and then you'll see a bunch of heads bouncing back up. All right. I was definitely one of those people in class. If it was post-lunch in the afternoon, it's warm, the hum of the air conditioner or whatever it is, and I'm just out. Okay. When we're wide awake, the opposite happens. Our eyelids are open all the way, and our chin happens to be up. And no, this is not me telling you to have good posture. However, what I learned from my colleague at Stanford is that these circuits actually act in loops. When we look up, maybe it's because these melanopsin cells are in the bottom of our retina. They are. And maybe it's because they're there in order to view sunlight, which is overhead, which it is. But that system of alertness is linked to the position of our eyes. So when we look up and our eyelids are up, it actually has a purpose. It actually creates a wakefulness signal for the brain. And so while this might seem like the silliest and simple tool that I might ever describe on this podcast, if you are feeling tired, it actually can be beneficial to the wakefulness systems of the brain, including the locus ceruleus and these areas that release norepinephrine, to actually look up toward the ceiling. You don't want your chin all the way back, but to look up and to raise your eyes toward the ceiling and to look up and try and hold that for 10 to 15 seconds.
중요한 업무나 회의 또는 수업을 들을 때 천장을 보고 10초를 세어보세요. 그 짧은 행동이 뇌의 각성 시스템에 영향을 주고 졸음에서 벗어날 수 있게 해줄 겁니다. 재미있게 보셨다면 구독과 좋아요 부탁드려요.